back for another episode.
You have to do something different. You can't say, hey, everybody.
Okay. What should I say?
Welcome to the Mantrix.
Okay, there we go. Welcome to the Mantrix. I feel like I'm introducing people to our home.
See, you don't have to editorialize it. All you say is, welcome to the Mantrix.
Welcome
I'm
to-
JJ, and I'm Sarah. That's all you have to say.
Sounds like a voicemail. You know, like a leave a message after the...
This is why you always have to
All right. I can do this. Do this. Welcome to the Mantrix. I'm JJ.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is that place where we go to get away from all the things that have a point. We're just here to have some fun and tell goofy stories and play games. And actually, we've got a nice article to talk about today, and I'm excited. Actually, I think one of my stories is really funny. So, are you ready to approach the news desk?
Yes. All right. So my first story is actually the only reason I clicked on it was because it was like one of those Google recommended for you articles.
Oh.
The problem is that it's an NPR article, and it's actually kind of
They're starting to read your mind.
Yeah, maybe they know I'm always searching for odd news stories. So the title of the article is "A Woman Sues Disney World Over Severe Injuries on a Water Slide."
Oh no!
The problem is that it's not severe injuries. It says she sustained gynecological injuries.
Oh no!
I think they might be mining for a story here, but I do believe maybe she did get hurt. According to the lawsuit, this woman was on a family trip in October 2019 to celebrate her 30th birthday.
So young woman.
Yes. So she was hurt while riding down the Typhoon Lagoon water slide, their tallest slide called... I've been to this water.
I was going to say, have we been there? Have I been there?
I don't think we've ever gone to the...
If I haven't been with you, then I haven't
been. With my family, but I've been on this water slide. It's called Humunga Cowabunga, and it's a 214-foot slide that...
Who is naming these things?
Disney, as I know.
Humunga.
So, apparently, so you stand at the top and then the bottom gives out and you slide down.
Oh, fun.
And it's a very fun water slide. But Disney's number one thing is always wear appropriate swimwear, right? You're going on water slides. And just basic human common sense. You're going on water slides. Like, you always are told, what are you told when you go on a water slide? Cross your arms over your chest, cross your legs at your ankles. Always cross your legs at your ankles.
I don't think I do that, actually.
Have you been to many water parks?
Not really. I've been on like water slides and stuff.
I grew up going to Michigan Adventure, so it was always cross your feet at your ankles, or your legs at your ankles, and cross your arms over your chest. It's to prevent, because sometimes the water shoots up.
Yeah, but the ankle thing, I don't think I knew. That totally makes sense.
It's also to prevent your limbs from somehow getting caught in something and you breaking a leg by twisting it back or something. If you shoot down very quickly, it can happen.
If it's fast enough,
It can happen if you're on a regular slide at the park, apparently.
Wow.
So what happened was the woman slid down the 214-foot water slide. The standing water at the ride's bottom abruptly brought her to a rapid stop, forcing her swimsuit into a painful wedgie. She experienced... So this sounds really traumatic. But this is the complaint from the witness. It says she experienced immediate and severe pain internally.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like,
wow.
I'm not doubting that actually can happen.
For sure.
But this happened 4 years ago.
Well, lawsuits take forever. I know. So I feel like that's valid. But like, she got away.
So apparently it forced the water up her. And it apparently caused pain.
Oof.
And it said that she's claiming at least $50,000 in damages. The suit was just filed last week in Orange County, where the park is located, and it accuses Disney of negligence.
Oh, just filed, not just settled.
Filed. That's what I'm saying. Just filed. This complaint was just filed. It happened in October 2019. This is exactly 4 years since it happened.
And she's just now
filing the lawsuit, and she's claiming $50,000 in damages. So it says it is a tube slide. It can reach a speed of 40 miles an hour.
Whoa.
And it says...
is that normal? That seems really fast.
Some water slides can go really fast.
Wow.
You get quite a bit of speed as you're going down.
And you got to cross your ankles.
So it says Disney advises before sliding down, riders are instructed to cross their ankles in order to lessen the risk of injury. But the suit claims that the park guests were not informed of this upon riding the ride. And I'm like... There's a warning board.
The signs are always
every single. I mean, these places cross their teeth.
Well, yeah, otherwise they'd be sued up the wazoo.
Like, even when we went to Great Wolf Lodge, it was like,
yep.
You must do this. You must do this. You must do this. There's
Everybody ignores the signs. I'm not saying people read them, but the signs are there.
I could not.
Wow.
It said she began the ride as it was recommended. But as she went through the slide, her body lifted up and became airborne, and her legs became uncrossed, causing her to experience this painfully forcing water to give her a wedgie and pushed garments loose.
But was there a medical? Did she need medical care?
Because it doesn't.
Like,
say.
if they're paying for medical bills, I could be more sympathetic.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about medical
bills.
Just
popping up 4 years later to say
it doesn't say anything about medical bills. It just says it caused a painful wedgie and caused her to have discomfort because the water. Because it's true, the water does shoot up.
That's no good.
I have a lot of questions. That why was the lawsuit just filed 4 years later, or was she is she still experiencing issues? Like, she having trouble walking? Did it cause some sort of medical? It doesn't say anything about medical stuff. No. It doesn't say anything about payments or any sort of injuries. Different from that one that we were talking about where that woman filed a lawsuit against Cedar Point and how she had that piece of the dragster which impaled her in the head or something. A piece came out and she was about to go to school for her master's in education or something. Dragster? They did. They started taking it apart. Yeah. But apparently what happened was it impaired her so much that she has severe cognitive disabilities. And she can no longer, she needs an aid for the rest of her life. And she was only in her 20s or something. That one was
super extreme. That was really bad.
But I was just shocked by this one because I was like.
I wonder if it's because 50,000 isn't that much.
Not really.
You're right. And so it makes me think that maybe she had, I doubt there's medical bills if they didn't mention it. Yeah. But maybe she thinks the amount's small enough that it's I could get, they'll just settle with me.
Oh yeah, they'd rather settle with me because it's Disney. But apparently Disney hasn't responded for any kind of comment, and they haven't responded to the lawsuit at all.
Oh, they've probably got the best lawyers. Are you
sure
kidding me?
They probably do.
Oh my gosh.
And this seems kind of, I don't know. It seems like kind of a stretch.
The fact that it's I think it's very embarrassing to come forward and be like, I had a really bad wedgie 4 years ago. Also, man, how do you even have evidence of that? Or could they just say, no, you didn't and walk away?
I know. It
yeah.
Maybe they, I don't know. It's such a strange story, but it was recommended to me because it had the theme of Disney World in it. And I was like, oh, I clicked on the article and I went,
Super very different. Wedgie on a water slide. Whew. Cross your ankles, boys and girls. I did not know that you have to cross your ankles. I've always done the cross your arm, but I always thought that even that was so that you would go faster or something.
Oh, no, it's to cross it so that, if you're going down
cross your arms over your chest?
Because if you put them at your sides and something jams it, it'll jam your shoulder, dislocate your shoulder.
I see.
And if you don't cross your legs, it could do the same
thing. You
to
don't
your legs.
Want your
jam
arms
it up
flopping.
And it could. Yeah, you don't want limbs flopping everywhere because otherwise, if something catches just right, you'd break or dislocate or severely injure yourself.
I used to grab my nose, cross my arms over my chest, and then you grab your nose because when you hit that thing, it's no fun to have that water shoot up your nose. Right. But even if it does shoot up your nose, it's not damaging, although
that's why I'm I don't know.
Boy, wow. Okay. That was a great story. That was good
just
work.
So bizarre. So.
Well done. All right. Danish artist who submitted empty frames as artwork is appealing a court ruling that he has to repay the cash.
I heard that. I didn't see the whole story.
I had to read it 2 or 3 times. So basically, I read 2 different articles that were talking about this because this happened a long time ago. This is now settling the court case. Mm-hmm. But basically, it sounds like there's a Danish artist, and he has done these I cannot say the word today. Danish artist. There we go. But he has done this artwork, and what he does is he takes dollar bills or various denominations of Danish money, and he puts them in the picture frames to make a design or something. Yes. Right? And he has done this before. He has made this artwork out of the dollar bills, and they liked it, so they said, "Hey, will you do it again?" And this time he took they gave him money, here's money to do it. They gave him $5,000 to make the exhibit, right? Then they gave him I have to read it to see how much money it is, but they gave him a big pile of actual cash money. Mm-hmm. The museum gave it to him to use in the exhibit.
Oh, okay.
And he took the cash and ran, and gave them empty picture frames. So that's the first article.
So bizarre.
Right? So yeah. So
bizarre.
This is in Copenhagen, Denmark. A Danish artist was given a literal pile of money by a museum with which to create a piece of artwork. He submitted 2 empty canvases titled Take the Money and Run. That's the title of his exhibit. He was given the equivalent of about $84,000 in cash, in Danish kroner and euro banknotes that he was going to use for an exhibit at the Museum of the Kunsten Museum of Modern Art in Aalborg. For the exhibition of the labor conditions and the money, and it was supposed to be entitled Work It Out, that was going to open at the end of September. It's running all through October. The museum commissioned him to recreate two of his early pieces, so he had done this already, right? And so they also paid him $3,900 for the work. So that was his money. That's the cash we're paying you for the exhibit. Mm-hmm. But they gave him $84,000 that he took and ran. I just couldn't. And I love that the title of the piece of art is Take the Money and Run. The Danish court ruled last week that Jens Hanning has to repay $69,894 to the museum for having violated his contract. His lawyer said that they were going to appeal the decision. They declined further comment. The museum commissioned him. It started in 2021. They wanted to recreate these two earlier pieces that he had done. Instead, he submitted empty canvases in an exhibition entitled Work It Out. And the title of his piece was Take the Money and Run.
Wow.
Okay, but in its September 18th ruling, the District Court of Copenhagen also decided that he could keep his payment for doing the project.
Okay.
Right? So they paid him to do the thing, like $5,000-ish. Mm-hmm. The numbers vary based on the news story you read.
Oh, okay.
But it was like $3,900. Another one said it was like $5,600. So it was somewhere $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 they gave him to make the piece of art. He gets to keep that money because he did submit art, but he has to give the cash back. They were like, no, you have to give them the cash. And the reason that he got to keep the money that they paid him was because they used the blank canvases. They actually held the exhibition. They were like, here's the exhibition, and they're just empty blank canvases on the wall.
That is so weird. It's like that banana peel taped to a wall or whatever that was art. Or no, the banana taped to the wall that was art.
Yes. It's a lot like that. Just modern art, right? The court said that in the contract between the museum and the guy stated that the cash, the banknotes, would be available during the temporary display of the works, which was to be returned afterwards. It was when he refused to return the cash after the exhibition ended that they took legal action. He denies having committed a crime and insists he did produce a work of art.
That's like your friend giving you money to go to the store and buy something for them, and you come back and not only did you not buy the thing for them, but you kept their money. Like
you give them like an empty grocery bag.
You give them a receipt.
Yes.
You just give them the receipt. Here you go. Where's my stuff?
Where's my stuff?
I bought it, but I kept it for myself.
My favorite is Ron Swanson, Parks and Rec, where they go to the art and he's like, "You forgot to paint a painting, son." And he's just looking at a blank canvas.
I can't wrap my mind around why the artist would be like, I didn't do anything wrong.
Apparently he's a bit of a provocateur, and this seems to be a thing in the art world where you make weird things to make statements. You know, you're like, this is my commentary. But he like admitted, he was like, this is a commentary on my hang on, let me take the two.
Thievery?
Yeah, so he said, when the museum officials received the completed artworks, they were blank. The artwork is that I have taken the money, Hanning told a radio show on the P1 channel that is part of the Danish broadcaster. He is known as a provocateur, and the artwork represented his current work situation. I encourage others who have just as miserable working conditions as I do to do the same.
To take the money and run?
If they are being asked to give money to go to work, then take the money and run. This is his advice. Also, he's an artist. What is his working conditions that he's a well-known artist who gets contracts with museums? Like,
oh, poor you.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm like,
hard life.
What? They're being asked.
I have so many things
The
to say.
artwork is that I have taken the money. I wonder if thieves at a bank robbery could go for that. The artwork
is that I have taken the money.
This is my masterpiece that I have stolen the money. It was so ridiculous.
Now you see me. That is just it reminded me of
yes,
that.
remember that? They're like, it's a mess, but this is my masterpiece. No, man, they handed you the money and you just didn't use it the way you were supposed to. You borrowed the money. Like, they handed you art supplies, right? And you did not use them as art supplies. You took them and ran.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
That's just, that was, so Danish artist making headlines.
Will he ever be contracted by a museum again?
Probably I would assume not, right? Nobody's going to, at least, see, I don't know though, because this Danish museum just got a whole bunch of free press, right? Like, as much as this is a nuisance, I bet they win their court case, they're going to get their money back, and they get lots of free press. I bet they hire him to do something else crazy.
It's dumb.
I doubt they're going to hand him piles of cash again.
It's dumb.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Almost as dumb as this story. U.S. Customs officials seized giraffe feces from a woman at a Minnesota airport.
Gross. Why did she have giraffe feces?
Do you really want to know?
Of course I want to know. That's disgusting. You can't just dangle the...
She told officials she planned to use the waste to make a necklace as she had done in the past with moose poop.
She makes necklaces? No, that's so disgusting. What?
But please appreciate this line from AP News. Federal customs agents poo-pooed the plans of an Iowa woman who wanted to make jewelry from giraffe feces she had picked up on a trip to Kenya.
Gross.
The woman declared the small box of feces when she was selected to have her belongings inspected. However, apparently it can be brought back with the proper permits and inspections. She didn't do any of this, and she did because she didn't use the proper permits or have any of the special clearance. She just reported it when she had to be searched, and so they said that she won't face charges because she did give it up to customs.
Gross.
But the agency's agricultural specialists destroyed the giraffe poop. Oh, good. So they threw it in the garbage can.
I was just going to say, by destroyed, you mean threw it away.
Kind of like your shampoo bottles when they're like, sorry, these are over 2 ounces.
Yeah. Oh, my word.
I just, why would you make jewelry out of it? That's the part
I want to know more. How do you make, because wouldn't it just fall apart and smell? Does she coat it in something?
She must do something with it. I don't know if I
glaze
know
it?
the process. It's disgusting.
Embalm
I would
it?
not. Would you wear a piece of jewelry made out of poop?
I mean, no. I would like to think not. However, we wear shark's teeth, right? Is that different? You remember those little tooth necklaces?
Oh, I know people do it. I'm not saying I ever did it.
I used to have a shark tooth necklace.
It was just the tooth is different though.
Yes.
It's not as weird. I
don't have a good reason though. I'm sitting here going,
what a beautiful necklace. What is that? It's my baby's turd. I had it just coated, and it was a special keepsake memory.
It's about as much sense as hanging on to the kids' fingernails or whatever,
Fingernails? That's even weird.
I've heard people put them in a little envelope.
Sort of DNA test. I kept his fingernails.
Is this really my baby? What?
It's just bizarre.
Giraffe poop.
But so apparently the danger is, if this person had entered the U.S. and not declared these items, there's a pretty high possibility the person could have contracted a disease such as African swine fever, classical swine fever, Newcastle disease, foot and mouth disease, and swine vesicular disease, because they're all common ailments in Kenya that could be contracted.
I mean, it's pretty elementary standard. You teach this to your 2-year-olds. Don't touch the poop. You could get diseases, right? All animals. It's don't touch that dead bird, right? You don't touch dead things or poop. Because, that's where all the nasty stuff is.
If you want to save it and make it into jewelry, it's totally okay.
Necklace. All right. If I was the police officer, I'd be like, and now we're going to follow you to your home, and you're going to give us the moose poop necklace.
I would have been like, no, let's make sure you go and wash your hands in the bathroom, honey.
Here's some hand sanitizer, ma'am.
Ugh. I can't imagine opening the box and being like, what
when you told me, because we try to compare notes before we start so that we don't do the same stories. Mm-hmm. When you told me that one had giraffe feces, not in a million years could I have guessed that was what the story was going to be.
Can you imagine going to Kenya and being like, the only thing that I have to remember to bring home is giraffe poop? I just got to get a box of giraffe poop.
That's like so...
Not like some handmade pottery or some like locally made jewelry.
There's some cool
or
stuff.
Something woven from elephant grass, but no, I need giraffe poop. Can't just take pictures of the giraffes on the safari. You got to collect their poop.
I really think she must like dip it in some kind of sealant and then like glaze it and then turn it into little beads. You know?
I don't want to know. I don't want to see it. I don't want giraffe poop jewelry. I don't want moose poop jewelry. That's gross. I want my jewelry to be made from...
Poop should not be made into things.
No,
just, other than fertilizer. You are allowed to make fertilizer. Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, so what you got?
All right, so I have another artist story. That's that's my theme for today.
Oh, that last one was artist story.
Yeah.
She's an artist.
No, she's not. Gross. She's an artist like my 2-year-old's a cook. He goes out and makes little concoctions. British artist's latest project is a shop where all the bagels are made of felt. Her name is Lucy Sparrow, and her latest installation is called Felt's Bagels. It uses approximately 30,000 pieces of felt to recreate the look and feel of an authentic Jewish bagel shop. She built a bagel shop out of felt. This is
a kid's play area at like a children's museum, right?
Nope. This is a serious artist in New York. So she's British, but she made this in New York.
It makes sense, New York bagels.
While not one of the major food groups, a bagel and a schmear have made of felt might satisfy your appetite for art. Felt's Bagels, the latest installation from Lucy Sparrow. Let's see. So she put it up in the prominent New York's Lower East Side neighborhood. She actually found an abandoned place and recreated a whole bagel shop, like an authentic bagel shop from way back in the late 19th century. Sparrow says she wanted to depict how breakfast food brought here by Eastern European immigrants in the late 19th century morphed into New York society and beyond, making the bagel the Swiss Army knife of breads.
Did she ask any Jewish people how they felt about it?
Oh, that's good work. Swiss Army knife of bread, cream cheese, butter, cold cuts, lox. Anything that fits on the circular bread is fair game, Sparrow felt.
The inspiration seems fuzzy.
Oh, it hurts.
So would eating a felt bagel.
Oh, but this is the crazy part. Okay, adding a dose of reality, Sparrow works the counter. So the art exhibit is you walk in and it's a bagel shop made of felt. But then she works the counter taking orders where you can purchase a felt bagel and she will sew it together and give it to you.
How long do you have to wait for her to sew the bagel together?
I assume kind of a long time. The custom bagel sells for just ballpark that price.
$500.
$250, and pricing for other items starts at $10. $10 is the cheapest thing you could buy, but $250 for a bagel sandwich that she will sew together for you. If it's the bagel that you order in real life, but I sew it together for you. We have everything, 6 different types of bagels, 44 different types of fillings, so the possibilities are endless with what you can create in the art world out of felt food.
Is she expecting to make lots of money
I do not even understand.
I have so many questions.
It's so interesting, isn't it? I kind of like it, though. I feel like that's fun.
It feels like an art prize exhibit.
It does, and I would not pay $250 ever. Nope.
But I'd watch other people pay.
But I would go and watch. I'd be excited to see this. This is not the first time that Lucy Sparrow has converted classic New York installations into felt. So this is like her thing. She previously tackled the 1980s bodega in 8 Till Late and a delicatessen with Lucy's on 6. Like the others, Felt's Bagels provides an immersive experience for the patron. You are absolutely forcing people to interact with the art that you're not usually supposed to do in art galleries. I want them to curate their own sandwich with as little input from me as possible and have that turning art into almost like their own portrait through the medium of felt food.
Okay.
She used 400 yards of felt. Every product, recreation, and deli item was cut and sewn by Sparrow, who says it took 9 months of round-the-clock work. It took her 9 months to make this thing.
Wow.
a little bit. The whole world of artists is baffling to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
You think anybody's buying them? Like, you think people are walking in and saying, "Make me a felt bagel"?
What are you gonna do with your felt bagel when you get home?
I don't know.
Display it in a glass case? Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Other elements of the installation that, well, felt real include an auntie that just can't keep away from it. It
not even creative or original with theirs.
Nope. Antique cash register, a traditional Greek diner coffee cup, and pickles in a jar atop a counter next to the, I don't know how to say this word, rugelach? Rugelach. 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 I don't know. Then there's a full section of baked goods and the shelves all over the store laden with both Jewish delicacies and comfort foods. And of course, the staple of any authentic New York bagel shop, the black and white cookie. Research for the show basically involves me going into many bagel shops, and I gather information from all the different places, and in my head I turn it into something that's very technicolor. I like that she says the research for the show involved me going into many bagel shops. That's just going to a coffee shop, right? Or a bagel shop in New York. That's not research. That's just...
It's a lot of cards.
I just went to bagel shops all the time, and I called it research.
It was so much work. I'm so tired
so hard.
of my research.
Oh my gosh, such a terrible...
Guess I'll have another bagel.
Oh, wow. Man. So yeah, Felt's Bagels, a bagel shop made of felt in New York. It runs all through the month of October, so theoretically.
Good. I'll just hop on a plane and
get over there. Go to New York and bring
me
a $300 bagel.
My $300 bagel.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking of like the little felt sandwiches that are like in our children's toys, but those are worth maybe 50 cents.
Maybe you can make them yourself for super cheap.
Yeah, but why? She'll make it for you.
She'll make it for you. She's an artiste.
An artiste. It does look cute. I mean, it's a whole shop and everything's felt.
I believe it.
It's a fun thing.
That's very cute. But $250 is not cute.
No, that's insane. Better than stealing, what was it, 80 grand from that other place or whatever. Are you ready for Sponsor Your Life?
Sure.
All right, go for it.
So over the weekend, well, last weekend now, we went to apple picking, some more apple picking.
Yeah, spices.
You were there for like the hot 30 seconds.
I could only hang out for an hour. I had to leave early, but you guys got to.
We did. We went to Spices. It was very cold and very windy this past weekend, so it was a very abrupt change from the last time we went apple picking, where it was very, very warm and kids were running around.
Yeah.
But just, hanging out with family, cider and donuts, all that good stuff. It was just a fun time. It was good to see everybody and good to go apple picking and got some more apples, so can do some more baking. Yeah,
I love that tradition in general. Mm-hmm. Wasn't something I say this every time. Mm-hmm. It's not something I had growing up, but it's a favorite, and I think my family's latched on into it too because they didn't do it growing up. But they like my brothers come out, they get to be uncles for a day and get to hang out. And
yeah, actually that was really nice. This year both your brothers came out, so that was really
a lot of times cool. They're busy, and my mom got to come. Sometimes she can't make it. Mm-hmm. So it's always... It was a
fun time. It was. The boys had a really good time. They got a chance to have cider and donuts, and they they braved the cold to pick apples. I think Liam and Amos were probably
they did all right.
No big deal. Asher was just excited to run around and trip on apples.
Ezra was miserable.
Ezra was not happy about it.
He was so grumpy.
Either way, they got a chance to see their uncles, and it's always fun to see Oma and Papa.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They lose their mind when it's like, hey, you get to see Uncle Ben and Uncle John.
Yeah, they were very excited about that. So it was good to see everybody, and we went out to lunch afterwards, and that was really fun. So just a good day. Day.
I had to duck out early, but I got to stop at my sponsor. It's a terrible sponsor, but I just got to give them a shout out because I'm exposing myself. Sponsor my life this week is Taco Bell. I know that they are the lowest of the low as far as food, but if I get to pick where we're going to fast food, that's always where I want to go. They have
which is why we never get fast food.
Nope. What's it called? It's like a toasted cheese burrito or something like that, and it's very good. It's just delicious. They're all terrible, and I'm
flaming hot piece of garbage is what it is.
I'm pretty sure
there's good food, and then
they just have like 6 different types of tortillas, like the hard shell and the soft shell and the burritos or whatever, and then they just have a hose that squirts the same glorp into it. But I like Taco Bell, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm a little ashamed.
You should be very ashamed. Taco Bell is not even real Mexican food.
No, it's not. And
it's not even real food.
No, all the studies about what's in there, and every time I eat it, I'm like, this is probably a mistake. But I like it.
And yet, the number of Taco Bell receipts I find in our car, it's awful.
Delicious. All right. Yes. So that's sponsored my life today. Okay, so now I have an article that I wanted to talk about that I think is fascinating and of big time interest to us.
Okay.
So this article is called "Blessed Are the Rich, for they can limit their kids' screen time." Bonnie Christian, writing for Christianity Today, she says, "Too much tech is bad for children, but are we only discipling families who have been entrusted with much?" But they're talking about limiting screen time, and that's like a big important theme for us. But what was fascinating is what basically she tells the story of how she is pushed hard to be very limited with screen time, but then she has bumped into people who have struggled because they're not in the same situation that she is. She has a nice stable nuclear family where they both work full time, and they have flexible schedules where both of them work from home. She's a writer, and I don't know what her husband does, but let me see. There were a few highlights that I wanted to share with you and then some questions. So, for example, one of the stories she tells was when she was a kid, she was raised by a single mom, and her mom would plop her down in front of the TV so she could exercise. It was like, you watch some Looney Tunes and I'm going to run on the treadmill or the exercise bike or whatever. She's like, I don't have to do that because my husband can watch the kids while I go for a jog. You know, like that's the big difference. And she's like, so my mom's experience spoke into that. The other example she said was she referenced Andy Crouch's TechWise Family, which I have read and really liked. And one of Andy Crouch's pieces of advice was, hey, move your TV out of the main space. Move it into like the basement or like a spare bedroom or something so that it's not in the most convenient place and you'll be less likely to plop down and watch the TV. She's like, but what if you, in talking to people, she was like, what if you are in a 2-bedroom apartment or something where you don't have another room to put it in, right? Put it in a spare bedroom, but what if you don't have a spare bedroom? So she was just reflecting on, are these pieces of advice that only work for the well-off, you know? And how do we get around these things? And so my question is, what are some good free things that we can do to limit screen time for kids? Things that don't involve the privileges that we have. Because I'll admit, like, we're not wealthy people by any stretch. And I don't think either of us really come from wealthy families. But we do come from very stable environments. So that's been really helpful. So I wanted to like brainstorm sort of as a response to the article. What are some like good things we do that don't cost a lot of money or any money that keep away from screen time?
Our kids have been encouraged to independent play.
For sure. I think nowadays kids, it's like if you don't have a screen, then you have to have some super crazy creative toy. And I think honestly, the one thing I want to encourage is like you can give a kid one thing and invite them to play with it, and they can. You know what I mean? Like,
I think we don't have enough faith in our kids' ability to self-entertain because we as adults are losing the ability to self-entertain. So we assume that our kids can't. So we just have to have our kids be entertained.
True.
We find distractions for our kids everywhere. If it's not TV, it's sports, it's different extracurricular activities. So yeah. I feel like we're not letting our kids just be kids. And like, I'm not saying like leave them alone in a room with a box of markers and, you know, a knife block. But like really, like, I mean, I don't know. Our 3-year-old has done so well to play independently.
Oh my gosh.
And he would never ask to watch TV.
Not anymore, no.
I mean, he truly, though, has never asked to watch TV. Our oldest has, but like,
that's true.
Even our 5-year-old, like, the only reason he would ask to watch TV is if his older brother did. The desire to use screens and have phones and iPads and TVs is a learned habit. It's not innate.
Yeah.
And it's a learned thing that they see us doing, and so the more we do it, the more they want to do it. Because they can't figure out why it's so exciting to us and why it grabs so much of our attention. So if we show them more valuable things to do with their time, they'll gravitate toward those things, which is why our kids like reading so much, because we really enjoy reading, and we've really like
and that's what they see us doing more than probably anything else.
It's or for me it's like doing stuff around the house, because when I'm home with the kids during the day, I'm never on my phone, like
right. Yep.
We're doing stuff in the kitchen, or we're cleaning, or if I'm not teaching them, we're reading a book together, or whatever, like
it makes me think about like I didn't want to jump into it too much because I am excited. I'm almost done reading it, and then I want to talk about it later. That book that you recommended a couple weeks back, The Habits of the Habits of the Home or the House? And he talks about how, it's a lot of work to eat dinner together as a family. It'd be so much easier to not, and he's like, people ask me, why do you go through all that work? Why do you go through the slog of doing that? And it's like, because it's not just about what's easy, it's about what best forms us. And I think that that's been a big part of the, the big part of the conversation with screens. It's like, yeah, but a lot of times screens is about what's the easiest version of me getting through this. And so a lot of times, and I can appreciate the heart behind this. She is a person with an immense amount of privilege and stability, and she's realizing that the advice she's giving or has been reading doesn't apply or doesn't work really well for those who are in different situations where they're struggling. But at the same time, I guess I want to push back on the idea that limiting screens only is possible for wealthy people. It's like, actually, even if you don't have any money, because we are not what I would call wealthy people. I think we're stable, we're safe, we have a roof over our heads, and we budget our money really tightly so that we always have enough. And I think we've been wise with our resources, but we do not, we're not abundant in our resources, and we have been able to keep them away from screens because we do the hard work, right? Of like, yeah, it's more work to get a kid excited about.
It's more work to
crafting.
Do anything. As an adult, the easier thing would be for me to sit on the couch and melt in front of it and let my kids just sit on the couch and melt too. But it's like, I have to make the sacrifice personally so that my kids can benefit in more ways. Doing the laundry, or doing the dishes. It could be so much easier for me to just be like, I'm going to do this myself, and it'll take 20 minutes, and then I'll be done. But if I don't teach the kids how to clean things, how to do the dishes, how to fold the laundry, how to do it, they're never going to learn. Yeah. And it would be so much easier for me to just do it myself. But if I want them to be better, if I want them to benefit, if I want them to learn this skill that will be necessary for them later on, I have to invest in them and show them how to do it. Like, I can't just expect them to become 14 and suddenly do their own laundry if I never taught them when they were 5,
I guess I'm very comfortable to put a lot of compassion into the conversation.
Yeah,
One of the things that she mentioned is that a lot of the things like limiting screen time is a bit of a virtue signal or a social signal for the wealthy and middle class. Apparently it's very common for wealthy people to say, oh, we don't do screen time or whatever, as kind of a virtue signal thing. And I agree that it's good to limit screen time, but I don't want it to be a virtue signal thing. I kind of think about it like we talk about the environment stuff. Like, we love doing good for the environment.
Sure.
But I think that people turn it into a virtue signal thing, or they get all judgy, and it's like, look, it's hard. Everyone's trying to do their best, and the world is not right now. Our consumeristic world's not set up to be good for the environment. So, like, do the good things, grow in your small way without judging other people.
We should be doing good things silently without boasting about them, because then we're not really doing good things. We're expecting a pat on the back or a, hey, you did it. It's not doing it for the good of doing it. It's doing it for the praise of doing it. And that's messed up. Like, I just think it's true. We know screens aren't great for kids' development, and we know that, like, access to certain stuff is not great for their development. But
I feel like another thing I have is another sponsor. It's not, it's not time for sponsor life, but a big part of us avoiding screens has been utilizing the free resources of a library. I just think a community that has a library, and we've lived in towns that have teeny tiny libraries. In fact, the town we live in doesn't even have a library. We have to drive to the next town. Yeah. It's not very far. It's 10 minutes, but like, it's, and so in Flushing, I mean, that library was teeny tiny, but the way they're set up now, they have networks. So if you need a book, no problem, and you just put in a request and, and it's like, I think that it's an underutilized free resource, and free resources in communities are disappearing. One of the things they talked about is access to public parks. Parks are awesome if you can get to them. Not everybody has that, and not everybody lives in neighborhoods that are safe. And I totally get that as far as the privilege.
We don't even really have access to a public park. We have one car, and you take it every day. So I would have to walk quite a ways to get to a park with the kids. But
they have a backyard, and
I think place to play and do stuff that makes absolute sense for activities outside.
So I just think there are ways to encourage people towards the free resources that are there, and I think there are more resources than people realize. And I think I'm very on board with her heart of this whole thing, which is to say we should not be virtue signaling, we should not be pressuring, and certainly not identifying who's wealthy and who's poor.
Sure.
But we can all work together to do what's best for kids.
Yeah.
I really liked this line at the end of it. It says, there is some asymmetry, or at least some lack of accommodation, might be unavoidable when the advice is coming from a journalist like me, who's writing to people whose faces I cannot see and whose lives I cannot know. But the same is not true for the local church. Pastors and ministry workers like Austin, there's a guy named Austin she referenced earlier, like Austin, can give advice informed by the specific needs and constraints of the people they know and love. They can disciple not with quote-unquote teens with smartphones in general, but with this teenager with these habits and that home life. They can take care to heed Jesus' warnings in Matthew 18:6, not to cause one of the little ones to stumble. So basically she was like, rather than painting with such a broad stroke of just all teenagers with cell phones, it's like, pay attention to the specific situation of that kid in that specific situation, what's good for them. And I thought that was really helpful. I really liked that. And I thought the article was kind of nice.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I think I ultimately come down disagreeing. I think she felt really guilty. Blessed are the rich, for they can limit their screen time.
Well, I think she realized her own privilege and was like, my husband and I both work at home. We have 2 kids. We can do what we want to, and we know we can do that.
And that's a good thing to be aware of. So she played
devil's advocate on herself. I get it. I see that inclination to be like, but what if it wasn't this situation?
Yeah. But I think that swung so far as to say, now we just don't have to care about it. And it's like, well, okay, a lot of this can be done for free. And that was what I wanted to kind of get to was... I think
that's true. We go to the park. We do whatever we can that's free. I'm always trying to find, hey, this community event's free. Libraries have tons of free events for kids.
It's quite a bit of free stuff in the world for kids if you look for it.
Stuff. Local downtowns have free events. There's all sorts of stuff. If you just get connected to, local
churches and community centers and libraries and everybody.
Yeah, churches especially too always have.
But even the nature centers and everybody has free stuff.
Yep. There are free days and stuff like that.
All right. Hey everybody, thanks so much for listening. I can't not say it. I'm so sorry. What I meant was, hey,
thanks for listening.
Those people, the 2 people that listen,
JJ and his brother.
And the one other, we know one person who listens. Yeah. No, there's a dedicated group because the numbers are pretty consistent, right? It's the same few people tuning in, and I love all of them. So mostly because they're probably family. Are you ready to send us out with the mom joke of the week?
Sure. It's more of a riddle, not so much
a
joke. So
I
you
might
like
Sometimes
this one. You'll probably get it.
I like riddles.
Okay. What comes once in a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years?
I remember this one. I think it's a letter. Once in a minute. What was it? Twice in a moment. Is it the letter M?
Yes. See, I knew you were gonna get it. Shouldn't have done the riddle. Should have gone with the painful mom joke.
I like riddles. All right, everybody. Bye.